All right, here we go, you guys. We're rocking and rolling. I wanted to start this off with this wonderful little animation I made using Blender and After Effects. So I saw this painting at a coffee shop, and it had this mix. It was like a white canvas with this paint that was like splattered over it, and the black paint in the middle had like spread out, and I was like, oh, it'd be really cool to like turn that into a motion graphic. What's up, Ale? What's up, Ember? So I was like, I want to go and make a mock commercial for that. So I will open up the animation I have here of the actual bottle. So this is the bottle that here, let me, if you're on vertical, if you're on reels or shorts, I'll try and get this center frame for you. This is the bottle. This is the animation. So I modeled this in Blender, and this, it just spins in. Super simple, super basic little animation going on here. And I made sure the background was transparent so that I could take this animation into After Effects and I could kind of change it. Steal a concept or an idea. Oh, dude, all art is completely derivative of other things you've seen. Nothing is original. Even the language you speak came from someone else. The difference between stealing and paying homage is whether you are ripping someone off or you're creating something new, right? So that's what it's all about. So I made this. I modeled this, and I had an absolute blast making this. Very simple geometry. I'll zoom in over here. So I just took a cube, I indented it. I just did some simple little box changes to it, and then I created my own material for it. Let me switch this over to rendered view here so you guys can see it. So I went in Photoshop and I made the label. I went into I have some textures that I got from Texture Labs, which is super sick. Go check out Texture Labs if you need textures. They're all free and open source. Use them for whatever you want. So the way that I got this here is by using some Voronoi texture. So I built this node structure out that kind of gave me the Voronoi texture that I was looking for. And that's how you get this wonderful, like, kind of onyx, you know, like obsidian style chipping to the lighting. You get kind of these fractures to it, which looks pretty sick. So I rendered this out on a transparent background, and then I brought the animation into After Effects, and I took some, let me get out of this view. There's a few things in here that are pretty sick. So I took a liquid, let's find the footage here, see if I have it. So this is, I have a bunch of different liquids that I got from a fair use website that allows you to use their stuff for free. And I really wanted to kind of add motion to this idea of paint splattering. And I liked this too. I thought that was a cool transition. This is the one that I ultimately ended up going with. So you have two different colors here, and these colors are, obviously you can see them, and I wanted it to be pure black. So what I did to this intro liquid here, we can come down into it. I have some effects on it, on the actual liquid. So this is the, I think that's the black. No, I think this is it. So this is the actual liquid. What I did is I put a time warp on it to kind of warp the different speeds of it. Start slow. This is kind of just the speed that it's going at, right? And then the time warp has some colors and changes to it. And then I also, what I did is, if we get out of this, I masked a black, just the color black to that liquid, and you get this really cool little effect. And I duplicated that mask to get a little bit of it covering the actual bottle, so it looks like it's actually spreading around the bottle. So one layer is going behind the bottle, the other layer is going in front of the bottle, and it just makes it look pretty sick. And so all together, I think if we go here, you get this wonderful little animation. And we will turn that music off. That was placeholder music. So it rotates in, and then it kind of zooms in with some catchphrase for the generic brand, right? So this doesn't actually exist. This brand doesn't exist. It's all made up by me, and kind of just works pretty well. But I thought it ended up, yeah, it's kind of shiny, looks pretty good. Turned out pretty sick. I'm pretty excited on how it turned out. So that being said, today I wanted to go in and model something else in Blender, and this is going to be a pretty chill scene, right? Very, very chill little hangout session. I think I'm probably just going to start from scratch. We're not going to save this. We're just going to move on. And yeah, this is going to be fun. I don't know what we should make today, but we can literally make whatever the hell we want. That was a fake cologne, but what I might do is something different today. I have a wine bottle in here. I have a few other things that I've made that we could model, but yeah, I'm not quite sure what would be a fun thing to model. I got my coffee, frozen cold coffee here. Delicious. Absolutely fantastic. Oh, what are we feeling? What is a cool thing to do a commercial for? We could do a smoothie. We could do I guess I should have thought of this first, right? Before I started streaming. I just need to make something. So let's start with a cube, Shift A, add a cube in, a nice cube, happy little cube. And we will focus on that cube. I just want to make sure that stream can see most of what I'm doing here, and it looks like you guys can see to about here. If you're on the vertical stream, right? So I just want to make sure you guys can actually see what I'm doing, because I have a horizontal screen, and trying to get this to fit is not it's not exactly normal, but that's fine. So I know that I have two different streams going on here, and I think they have two different chats, which is chillin'. Okay, so what we are going to build here is, let's see, we could do a box and have the box open up. We could do a phone. Just trying to think. We've got a lot of gears. We could do a wine bottle. Drag the wine bottle in. Go clear parent and take this and delete this, and that is doing nothing. And then we'll take this, we'll go N, we'll come here to item, and all of this stuff looks like we got to go to our timeline and go and delete these keyframes. And then come to our location and go 0, and come to our rotation and go 0. And there we go, there's our bottle. And I'll try and set this up so that the vertical people can see this. What I'll do is I'll switch this over to my timeline and go in. And then I'll switch this over to the rendered view. This will be rendered view, 3D viewport. And we will turn this off and turn this off, turn this on. Because I think that this will look a little bit better for the people that are watching vertically. And that looks fairly decent. And we can move this over, actually, looks like. And let's actually view camera. Fantastic. Now right now our camera's over here. It is on a, I think we're on a 50 mil. I kind of want to take this to a 85 millimeter lens, zoomed in a little bit, and on this we're going to go location 0 and G, Y, move it back, and then rotation 90. G, Y, move it back, GZ, till that is center frame. I like that a lot. That's looking pretty good. Nice little wine bottle. Looking pretty good. Let's change our lighting. Right now we have a sky texture. I do not want a sky texture. I want to change that. We're just going to have it a regular color, and we'll have the color at 1. And I think it's totally fine at that color. Now I'm going to go Shift A, Mesh, and we're going to add a plane in, and we are going to drop this plane down right below our wine bottle. What I like to do is I like to get like right up next to it, GZ, until just when it starts to clip through, and then take it back down a little bit. And that should be pretty much sat right on top of it. You can see down there. That looks pretty good. Thinking that that looks fine. And let's get some lights in here, but let's also scale this up. And I wonder if we want to have this transparent as well. That might be interesting. That might be interesting. Shift A, light, area light, GZ. GY. Set that to probably around 1,000 watts. I like that. That looks pretty good. It's looking pretty nice. Rotate around the 3D cursor. So we have one light off to the side, and we will we'll go medium point scale. Get that bigger, and then what we can do is we can totally throw in kind of a sphere on this and make it look a little bit better, I'm thinking. But so far the wine bottle doesn't look bad, right? Like, I'm thinking that that looks fine. We can see the edge of our, so I'm going to scale this out, and then I'm going to go edit mode, and we're just going to, using 2, we're just going to grab these and extrude Z. And then this top one with 3, we're going to delete that face. And Q, we are going to face orientation, tab all. Alt and flip. And that's going to flip the normals so that we have the correct normals. And scale this Shift Z out quite a bit. I like that. And in edit mode, we're going to hit 2 on our keyboard and grab these corners and grab these corners. Honestly, I almost want to just give this a shot with Control A, set the scale, come down here and we'll go bevel modifier. And we're going to add a bevel modifier to this. I want to do a decent amount of bevel, and I want to do like 20 segments. Kind of just gives that infinity edge to it. I like that a lot. So we have one light here off to the left a little bit. I might move that back. And then I'm going to bring another one out. We'll set this one up here. Let's go N, G, Z. First, let's go N and set its rotation to 0. G, X, and then its X location to 0. Rotate X on this back wall. I want this back wall to be pretty well lit up. See how it kind of just fades off? I really like that a lot. I really like that a lot. And what I want to do here is I want to grab these, Alt click the top edge, GZ, and just take this up. And then I wonder if, and then that's fine. That's fine for now. And then we can zoom back into our bottle. Click on our bottle. Zoom back into that. That's looking pretty good. And what we can have is, maybe we can, oh, look at that. We actually have a label on this. Let's rotate this on the Z-axis. Look at that. It has a label. I didn't even know this one had a label attached. That's wonderful. I'm wondering if I don't want a label that goes all the way around. I feel like a label that goes all the way around might be a little bit better. Might be more what we're looking for. Thinking about it. Thinking about it. All right, let's go edit mode, and it looks like we can, so see how all of these are different objects, but they're all part of this, they're all connected as the same object. So what I can do is I can click on just the label and hit linked, and it will only grab that label. So if we wanted to do a label that goes all the way around, it'll be relatively easy to do. And I think that that's what we're going to do. We're going to go delete vertices, and we're going to delete that label's vertices. And then we're going to go 3, and we're going to select all of these, holding Alt and Shift, until I have pretty much what I think a label should take up on a bottle of wine. And let's zoom in a little bit so we're not grabbing the wrong thing here. And I think it should stop about there. I feel like that's a decent label, right? It goes all the way around. And so what I'll do with those is I'm going to go Shift D, Control D. I'm going to go, oh, Control D. There we go. It's Shift D. I just hit Shift S on accident. I was like, I think it's Shift D. It's always been Shift D. So that's, now it's copied. And what I want to do is I want to scale on the Shift Z axis. So we're going to take it out just a little bit from the actual bottle itself. And as you can see, there is a gap, and then scale, Shift Z, and we can scale it right back in until it's just about there. And now we're going to go and we're going to switch this over to shader editor. And in our shader editor, and I can go tab, get out of here. I'll change this to rendered view just so vertical people can see what I'm doing. I'm going to hit N down here, and I'm going to, with this selected, we already have it selected, I'm going to come down to, you guys can't see this, but I'm going to my assigned materials on the side. I might be able to move this over for the rest of chat. I'm coming down here to assigned materials, and with all of those, with all of the label selected, I'm just going to hit assign on wine label, and that will make that white. And then I can just hit tab, and we are back in business. Now we have a wine label that goes all the way around our bottle, which is super sick. View selected, and we can spin around, and it looks really good. I think it looks fine. I think it looks super tight. Okie dokie. We do have a little bit of a funky material on this, and I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it on stream, but there's a bump map going on with this wine label here, and I think the UV of this isn't unwrapped properly, so I'm going to go into tab. We still have that selected. I'm going to hit U, and I'm just going to hit Cube Project. And then hopefully, if I just come here to UV editor, it's exactly what I wanted. And then just scale it. Tab, boom. And now our material is looking, I'll get nice and close. This is the nice thing about working with like 4K materials, is you can get super close to them and they don't break down. It's got a little bit of a paper material to it, looks kind of rough. Really, it's just this image. That's all I'm using for this, which is pretty sick. And so you can kind of get some realistic looking effects just by using a simple material. The cork here, if I click on here and I go link, I think it should have grabbed the entire thing, and I go GZ. Nope, it only grabbed that. So I want to go, I don't want to go seam, material. There we go. GZ. I have a cork here that we can animate. And that can pop in and out. I actually might bring this, I feel like that's about where it goes in a wine bottle. There is the cork, and inside I actually have wine. Here, let me go tab, or let me go Q. So as you can see, it's very, very dark and red because I have a wine that is in here. It's actually its own, this, if I go, let's go link, GX, tab. I actually duplicated the bottle and put some wine in there just to give it a more realistic look as if it's full. So we can have some realistic look to the entire thing, which is tight. Pretty nice. And there is a wine bottle. Now we don't have any label on this. What we can do is we can use images for a label, right? So we could probably open, let's go documents, we'll go assets, stock, and we could probably come down here to textures, open image. And we could probably just make our label, we'll make it JP wine because that's me. Let's open that. let's open that image. And now that we have that image there, what we can do on this wine label is we can switch this back to our shader editor, and we're in we're in the wrong material here. So I'm going to select the label, get out of edit mode, and we are going to include that. Oh, I wonder if this does anything. It kind of looks like it is. It looks like we have a wine label already built in. I'm a little confused about it though. It seems kind of funky. Let's go over to our UV editor and let's see wine label right here. Okay, so it looks like there is nothing on there. It's completely transparent. So we're not going to use that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to shader editor and we're going to switch this image over to business card. And business card is there. And so this should be doing the right thing here. I wonder what's going on. Oh, you know what I think it is? I wonder what's, yeah, this seems kind of funky. So I'm not seeing the image. Let's go to UV editor. Let's go to business card. Let's go tab, link, scale X. Actually, scale X. Rotate 90 degrees. And it's interesting. You can see how it's not square here, which doesn't really make sense to me. You know why? I think I know why. I think I need to go Control Z. I need to scale this down. And then I need to scale this like this. See, that doesn't seem to make sense either. Tab. Let's go back to shader editor. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay. What if this is plugged into our bump height? I wonder if because it's transparent, it's not, and it's black, it's not, let's come back in here and let's pick a different one. Let's pick a different one. This looks kind of cool. So does this. Let's grab this. Open. There we go. This is making more sense now. See, that's interesting that it wasn't working with the other one. So now let's go tab, U, cube project. There we go. That looks a lot better. And then let's go to UV editor. Boom. And we'll swap this with marble crown. G. Scale it on the x-axis. No. It looks like it is tiling. So if I went 3, or if I went 4, GX. Ah, look at that. GX. Okay, so it is splitting it into 2, which is interesting. I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe because it doesn't have a seam. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here on 2s, and I'm going to go Alt-click like that, grab all of that. That's fine, and then we're just going to right-click M, mark as seam, and then I'm going to go 3, click, link, U, cube projection. Still is ripping it in multiple spots. And the weird thing is it's like literally not using our seam at all. So U, Unwrap. That might work. That might work really well. Okay, so now we have this. Let's go rotate it by 90, GX, scale. And then let's go 3, boom, boom, right? Follow active quads. Straightens it out quite a bit. Scale X. I like that. We can turn this off and kind of just look at it while we're doing this. That looks pretty good. I'm liking that. There is a little bit of a seam back here, but I'm actually okay with that. I kind of want, because the back end of a wine bottle would have a seam on the label. So that would make more sense, in my opinion. I think that that would make sense. Now we can move over to here. No, you know what? I was going to go to Photoshop and add text to it, but I think that that should just be fine. What we can do, because it still has, let's go tab, let's get out of there, let's go to shader editor, and right now we do not have the original bump going in, so let's get our original bump going in. Actually, let's use this one, and that should add like a papery texture. Nope, that's not it. We want this. Yeah, that's it. That's what we want. Kind of a papery texture to everything. I might come down and add a little bit of sheen. I feel like that's not bad. And then let's also come up to here and let's just run the base color into it. See, I think that looks great. And what is this? This is this. That is that. Let's plug this into the metallic. I don't know. Let's give it a shot. Oh, that looks great. That looks fantastic. It's got a little bit of a metallic to it. Looks like a nice wine bottle in my opinion. I'm thinking that that looks fine. I'm thinking that looks really good. Nice little wine bottle scene. Now let's change this back to our 3D viewport, and we're already in camera mode. And look at that beautiful bottle of wine. Now another way to kind of really add to your product shots, right, is besides using your camera and setting a high depth or millimeter, right, your what do they call it, a long lens? Long lens is great. Long lens is great. So right now I'm rocking a 108. We could probably do 115. Let's do 115 millimeter lens. It flattens your image out a lot, but it looks really good. And that's when you can start doing the depth of field thing, which really makes everything look super good. And the way you do that is in your camera. Actually, I think it's over in render. Let's hide all of this. No, I think it is in camera. It's in camera. And depth of field, you just turn it on. And then you also use the little dropper to select your bottle. And then your depth of field will be there. And then you could also probably come to the Blender Kit add-on right here and just type in grapes. And maybe you'll find some for free. Some free grapes or fruit. Other wine bottles here. That's sick. Cool. Looks like some photogrammetry. Maybe not. That actually looks like it's... I love the foil they added to that one. I don't, corks don't stick out that much in wine bottles unless they are being recorked, which would make sense because there is wine glasses there, but just keep that in mind. I do like the foil, and maybe we will do the foil. I feel like the foil would be sick. I do like that they just have an orange here. But it looks like they don't have mini free grapes. I don't pay for the premium version of this, so no free grapes for JP, but that's fine. We can make our own. We can make our own grapes, and I'm really liking that style of. I almost really want to put some text on this in a cool way. So maybe we will open this in Photoshop. Here's the thumbnail for the live stream that I made. Let's go Control New, and we will actually, I think I could just open, Control Open, and we can go Documents, Assets, Stock, Textures, and go right down to our material that we just used. Here we go. Open. There it is. And let's add, right in the center here is where we want to add it. We got to come up with a name for the wine. Stonework Brewery. Let's what we'll do is we'll put a label here in the middle. So let's just go M, select, new layer. Ooh, actually, we'll go Shift M and get a circle. I like that. And we're already on the new layer, so we can just hit G and just fill that in with any color, because then we can go Control U and we can go like that. Okay. Command select and Control Z, V. That's centered. That's nice and centered. And we can then come here, which if you're on vertical, I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to see this, but what I'm doing is I'm clicking on this layer and I'm adding a mask to it, so that when I switch over to my brush, I can switch between colors, and if I paint with a black color, it erases it, but if I paint with a white color, it paints it right back in. And so this is just a luminance mask, which is really, really easy, simple way to kind of start messing with things. But on top of that, I also have symmetry here, which will center it right on my frame. And so if I wanted to create a cool kind of label shape, we can do that. Ooh, I kind of like this and like this. I think that looks really good. Hey, thanks, brother. Thanks for the kind words, my friend. No, I think, yeah, maybe we will do a little, we'll do a little of that. Kind of eye-catching, off-the-shelf eye-catching a little bit. And then let's put some text in this. So we are going to go right here. And what is the name? LM3, what are we naming our wine bottle? I have, I'm over here in Blender, and we're making a nice little wine bottle animation that I wanted to get the label looking dope first. And if you have a name for our winery, I'm here for it. I'm all ears. Also, hot take, the best typeface for anything is Montserrat. It is my favorite. I use it in everything. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely. I mean, it's got everything from like super thin to like the boldest of the bold. And it's just so readable and so legible, and it's not impact, which is, yeah, no, definitely, definitely my favorite font. It's my favorite font. I use it for literally everything. All right, let's get our Control All. I was thinking Stone Mountain or because it's got kind of this stone look, right? Like we have this marbled look, so it's like what would we call the winery? It's got to do something kind of with the label. So I was thinking Stonemason. Oh, Blue Ridge Vineyards. There we go. This is why the homies hop in chat. Blue Ridge. I love it. I love it. This is fantastic. And let's go thin on this. Let's go like a light. We'll switch this to light. And we'll go, yeah, light, Blue Ridge. And let's also have a little fun with this. We'll do a little bit of arch. And we'll take this down like that. Blue Ridge. Vineyards. And then this will be a thin. Is that as thin as we go? That's as thin as we go. That's totally fine. And it'll be a smaller font. We'll drop the font size down. Blue Ridge Vineyards. And boom. Blue Ridge Vineyards. Enter Napa, comma CA, and this will also be thin, and it'll probably be even smaller. Napa, California, and this will be thin as well, and I love that. And the nice thing is with this Blue Ridge Vineyards, and this will be it's a red wine, so it could be a Pinot Noir or, forgot the E in Vineyards. Thank you. Mr. Dyslexic over here. A Cabernet. Let's do a new thing. Pinot Noir. I'm going through all my red wines. Let's do a cab. Oh, whoops. 28. We'll do 40. 40 for the font. And we'll set this to something a little bit bolder, because this is what we're selling. Cabernet, I think is how you spell it. Cabernet. I know how to spell that, so we're just going to go with that. Rosé, Pinot, Cab, all good choices. The Pinot Noir. And this, honestly, I might actually go boom and Control All, and let's rock this. Pinot Noir. I'm liking that. Okay. V. Up. Come back to our layer mask here. I might actually bring this back in, and I might go like this. V. Brush. Control Z. Let's add a decent amount back in, and then we will take it out where we want it out. Pinot Noir, I'm thinking this needs to be backspaced. I like that a lot. Blue Ridge Vineyards, Pinot Noir, Napa, California. Let's drop this down, enter 1 and enter 1, and that's fine. Oh. None, so that we can okay, and then we'll do this. Napa, California, I like that. And then we can come back and we can go back to Arch, and we'll set this back down to something like that. I think that is okay. And we can bring it down. And then what do we want the symbol to be? I have a bunch of icons. Command open. I think I'm in here. Let's go assets. Stock, we got, let's see what the icons are. I have a car, TikTok, these are all, ooh, this might be cool. Might bring this in. I kind of like this, especially if, okay, you need to come right there and right there, and you also need to be masked onto this, which works perfectly, and then I almost want, oh whoops, Control Z, we want to grab this, stop it, Blue Ridge, I like this. This looks great. Set that right in the center. That looks fine. And then I want it to not be in a certain area, so I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to go brush, and we're going to go like this. And we're going to just, honestly, we're just going to take this all the way back like that. And like that. No, I'm not feeling that. Honestly, I might flatten this out. I thought that the round looked cool, but I think I'm going to set this to none, hit OK. And then we're just going to go brush on this, and we're going to add it all back in, brush, take it all out, I like that. I think that that looks really good. And the last thing that I want to do is go V on this circle here and shift U, and let's drop it. Let's colorize it actually. Let's make it a light blue. Honestly, I feel like a dark blue might be really cool. And then if we take all the other stuff and make it white, right? Something like this, and then click this, white, white, and white. Oh, Control U, I could just do this. Bing. I feel like that's gonna look really good. Blue Ridge Vineyards. I think the only thing I'm backspacing on this is that. I think that that looks great. What a perfect little wine bottle. Command Shift Alt W. And we're saving this PNG export. And we can save it to, let's just save it right back into our stock. No, we can put it in here. We'll put it in here. It's, we're going to call it wine label. And it's saved. And we'll come back in here. Let's go to our shader editor. And we're on the wine label, and let's come to this and open image. We're just going to go right to our, open it up. There we go. Pinot Noir. And now I'm also wondering if I don't want to add another bump map in. What's this one look like? I want to add, let's do this. Let's turn off this and this, and this and this. And let's turn this Control Shift U or Control U. Let's turn this white. Okay. And because I want it to kind of stick off of it a little bit. And let's actually not go white. Control U. Let's drop this down a little bit to like that. Okay. And let's have this. I want to, we can also go plus new, drop this one down to here, and G, make that black. Command Shift W, export. We're gonna call this bump map. And the nice thing about doing this is what's really cool about this. Okay, so we already have the paper bump that we want to leave on there. But what I can do is I can screen, we can take this, and I can plug this into a mix color. And it's going to be a screen. And it's going to go into the B, and then from here I can go image texture. From here I plug this into the vector. I can go open, go back here. We're going to grab our bump map, and this is going to be sick. Okay, so this image is screening onto this image, so only the lightest amount is going to show up. And this, yes, this one goes into the A. This goes into here. And this should have a 1 on the screen. And so the final output gives a little bit of bump to our image here. And it looks like this part is sticking up just slightly, right? It isn't actually, this is all just done with a trick of the lighting, right? It's just using your normals to tell it where an edge is. But it really changes kind of a lot of the, this. So this ends up looking really cool, and we're getting that. And then we can come in here and we can fine tune this, right? So I could take this and I could switch this to full white, and this can be full black. And that will really change how this, oh, that doesn't look good. Oh, this is because I was clicking on the wrong thing. That will change a lot of this. So this is going to have a lot less of the bump that this is going to have. As you can see, this has a lot of bump, whereas this doesn't. This part's kind of smooth. It does have a lot of sheen because I added some sheen to it, but if we take that sheen down, should be fine. And you get that more realistic looking paper material, which turns out pretty sick. So Definitely a cool Blue Ridge Pinot Noir. Blue Ridge Vineyards Pinot Noir. And another cool thing is if I come in here and I hide this and I go control and we take this back to the color that it was, I should never have changed it. Control U. Colorize. Blue, dark blue. Okay, turn this on, turn this on. So we have our thing. You can come back in and edit this and change this and save it and then refresh your image and it'll update automatically. So one thing I really liked the idea of is not having these lines go all the way out. I feel like it's a little cluttery. So I'm going to come onto this and I'm going to go brush and I'm going to do this. Something like that. I have a hard brush, right? There's also that. Like you can really start messing with this in a cool way. I think that looks a little bit better. Blue Ridge Pinot Noir. Then it's almost like a label, although I will say this is starting to look like that mayonnaise brand a little bit. Snoopy, long time no see, dude. Shift. Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. I think that looks fine. I think I'm getting too funky with it. What if I go like that? Blue Ridge Vineyard. I think that looks a lot better. I'm actually going to stick with that. I like that a lot. I wonder if I control transform and we do this, and then we bring this up. No, I like that. We're doing that. That looks good. Control Z. I like that. All right, Command Shift W, export. Put it on the right one. Don't put it on your bump map. Save. Replace it. Boom. Come back in here. Come to your wine label. Find it. Click on it. Just reopen it and oh, it did not update. Open image. Open image. There we go. Now it's updated. And I think that looks really good. And you can kind of mess with the roughness too. So if you want the letters to kind of pop a little bit, you can take this. Also, this bump should be set to non-color, and this should be set to non-color as well to get that bump to be accurate. But I also want to take this back, and I want to take this back so that it's getting that. Another thing that you can do here is take this one right here, and you can kind of mess with this. So I'm going to take this one up to this color ramp, and then on this color ramp, you can start setting where you want. So I could set this to be black, and we'll add a new one in. And I'll zoom in here just to show you guys kind of what I'm doing. I'll set this one to be white. Where are we at? We're at 50%, so Let's set this at value is, yeah, 470 or something like that, 477. So then this one should also be at 477. That's fine. And put these on either side. And if you just want there we go. So now, if I take this and I plug this into our roughness, then everything is going to be the normal roughness that it was already at, except for the text. And so the text can be honestly, we could even do this. The text will be a little bit shinier and will catch the light. It'll be like perfectly reflective. And then what's this look like? Interesting. So that will have none. I almost don't want this inverted. What's that look like? What's this look like? Inversion. That looks really good. Shifty. Is that really what that looks like inverted? Interesting. Okay, let's delete that. Back to the metallic. I think that this is pretty much as good as you're gonna get. But now pretty much all the white spots are gonna be super shiny, and the rest of it's gonna be just its normal amount of shine, which is pretty decent. And anytime you want to change, we can delete that one. Anytime you want to change the amount of roughness of everything else, you can kind of just like drag this up, make it really not shiny, and have only the letters kind of really reflect light. And then finally, so let me Control Z that because I kind of like the way that's at. The last thing I wanted to do is show you guys some edge lighting here. So let me switch this back over to our 3D viewport. We got our bottle here in frame. I'm going to just set this back to this mode for myself. And I'm glad to hear it, Snoopy. I super appreciate it, brother. I hope you're doing well. What I'm going to do is turn this back on. We have a light in the back here. Oh, my bad. We have a light in the back here shining on this wall. If we move that out of the way, looks a little goofy, so I kind of like that. We can also come in here and change this. Give me 2 seconds. We can change the background to be a little bit darker, right? That'll kind of change the mood. We can also add some color into the background, depending. And right now we're doing Blue Ridge Mountain, right? So it would make sense to have more of a blue. And then this, rotate this so that Blue Ridge is centered. Very nice. Nice, wonderful label. Couldn't have made it without you guys. Absolutely wonderful. But let's get a edge light here. So I'm going to click on this light. We're going to switch this to a 3D cursor. I'm going to go Shift D, rotate Z, and we're going to bring this around to this side. And we're going to zoom in here. I'm going to go GZZ, send it back, rotate X. And just bring it down a little bit. Rotate ZZ till it's flat. Scale XX. Actually, scale ZZ. Scale YY. There we go. Scale XX. Nice, skinny. And then we can also rotate, Shift Z, rotate, Shift X, and get this nice rim light going on here. Just really highlights our bottle a lot. And another thing is these lights are fully lit up, right? Like they are just sources of light. They're pure white. So one way that you can kind of manipulate that a little bit is select it, use nodes in your shader editor. So we'll do that. We'll do that here. We'll go shader editor, use nodes, and we have our light selected. And then what I like to do, I have the Node Wrangler add-on already enabled. So I just select this and hit Control T, and it just adds a an image here. And then here in my textures, I made in Photoshop this wonderful thing, open image. And so this gives my light a little bit of a fade off, which is really, really nice to have. It can really up the quality of your whole scene. Now, it kind of, if you don't have a perfectly white, which I go non-color on these, you really want to go non-color. If you don't have a perfectly white or perfectly lit light, you can also take it up, you know, a couple hundred watts, go 1200 watts, try and get some of that lighting back, because it will dim it a little bit. But I'm gonna select the next light, and then we're also gonna do the same thing where it's Control T, open, and we're gonna grab that same image. So let's go textures, and there it is. Boom. Open image. And so that just gives a little bit of a fade off. And it really can just up the quality of the lighting itself. Now with this, I'm going to take this one up to probably 1500 because I want that one to be pretty bright. And I'm probably going to go to the first light, and I'm probably going to take that up to 2500. And just really kind of set your scene. So that, my friends, is how you set up a little 2.5 point lighting setup, right? So you have your hair light, you have your main key light, and then you could do a bounce light as well, but it's not floating. If I was to animate this, I would probably have it float, because it will just make it look a little bit cooler, right? And let's switch this back to the viewport. Just take this, and we could just hide that. Now it's floating. And then for the, let me hide this. For the people on vertical, I'm coming over here into my sidebar. And if you come into render view here, and you come down to film, you click transparent, and it gets rid of whatever background you have, so it'll render the background as transparent, as long as when you're in this mode, when you're in your output, you go down, and you guys probably won't be able to see it. Here, let me go like this. And let me go like this. So this is in frame. You have to make sure when you export, you're exporting it to a specific folder, and you're using RGBA as a PNG sequence. So you render it as a PNG sequence with RGB plus alpha. And so what that will do is it'll render a transparent image. The only thing you're going to see is whatever you have in your scene. And there will be no color background. So that's how I did the this animation, is I rendered this as a PNG sequence with the alpha, so that I could place it anywhere in this animation, and it just works, right? Just turns out good, looks fantastic. I love how this one turned out. But yeah, that's it, you guys. I wanted to kind of, I never made a video on making this, and I felt bad about doing it. I literally made most of it at a coffee shop, so it wasn't like I could really stream it either. But maybe what I'll do, I've been so busy that I haven't really had much time to sit down and edit videos, which is why I decided to start streaming on YouTube. Instead of streaming on Twitch, I used to stream on Twitch, download the video, edit it into a digestible YouTube video, thumbnail it, throw it up, make a couple shorts out of it. And I was like, this is just, it's so darn time consuming that I feel like this is the easiest way to do this. You guys can ask questions in real time if you're trying to learn Blender, if you're trying to learn After Effects. And it just helps everyone learn and grow at the same time. So this is our wine bottle, you guys. I'm pretty hyped on this. Do a little flip animation with it, right? Bring it in. Have it rotate in. Happy little wine bottle. And don't be afraid to take a brewery or a winery from your local town and go remake their stuff in Blender and then show it to them. Who knows? Maybe they'll be like, oh, dude, run our social media campaign. And then you're like, sick. Yeah, it's $2,000 for a 3D model. They'll be like, fuck yeah, let's do it. You know? So it can all work out. Like, you can really start making money with this. But don't forget about that soft lighting just by using a texture. It's one of the greatest things you can do. It really takes your lighting up to another notch. Instead of it just being this harsh, perfectly reflected bar of light, right? It's a simple way to really take your scenes to the next level. And then also start utilizing different textures and materials. Like, I've created this whole library of textures and materials just over time, right? So I have my stock image folder, and I have all sorts of little folders in there. Buildings, materials, castles. I'll use these for materials or inspiration. Store interiors, right? So I made some stuff, street shops, if I want to model a street shop. There's actually a couple videos on my YouTube right now on my channel showing you how to turn an image of a shop into an actual 3D shop that you can drop into your scene. It's low poly, and it should sit at the back of your scene. Like, I wouldn't do close-ups of it, but that tutorial's up. Making garage doors, just simple assets out of images. Start curating. Pexels is a great free resource for artists to go and get real photography, phenomenal photographers on there. Also, making skyscrapers. Go collect images of skyscrapers. You should have a folder with skyscraper images because you can make the most realistic looking background skyscrapers with just a single image like this. And there's a million tutorials on how to do that. But all of that to say, like, I have my PNG effects folder here. I even have that video that I used for the for that animation. Clouds, fire, all sorts of different things that you can just add in to the background of a render, and you can make these light up, right? So, like, yeah. Go collect textures. Go collect stuff. Start taking pictures of your own too, right? I have so many different, like, coffee stains, spills, scratches, gravel. This is a picture I took of gravel. Like, use your world around you. But I digress, you guys. That's going to be the end of this stream. It was super fun hanging out. I hope you guys learned something, and if not, that's fine. I can't do anything about that. I had a blast. I had a blast making this little label and setting up the scene to kind of look really nice. A nice little thank you to LM3 for the Blue Ridge Vineyards. We got a Pinot Noir here. Absolutely wonderful. Animate this however you want. Have the cork come off. Oh yeah, I forgot we have depth of field on. So it's gonna only focus on where the it's only gonna focus where the origin is. This little yellow dot where it rotates around. But yeah, no, this turned out pretty good. I'm pretty stoked on it. See, I think right there is like the sweet spot. Perfectly in focus. And the top is starting to fade out of focus just a little bit. It's fading out. Yeah, no, this turned out super sick. Absolutely. Adios. Oh, also feel free to drop a comment on my other videos if you guys have a specific thing that you want me to go over in my next stream. Even if it's like compositing in After Effects, like how I do stuff like that. I'm an open book. I have no secrets. I'll tell you every trick I know. Also, Photoshop, it is, though overpriced, one of the greatest assets to a 3D artist who's using Blender, because if you can think of a material, or you have a photo of a material that you want to manipulate to make it look as real as possible in Blender, Photoshop has a tool for it, and just super useful. So, though not free, very useful software. There's also Photop online, I think, Photo.p or whatever. That the free Photoshop. It's got all the same tools. So, okie dokie, you guys. Adios. Have a good one.